What is going on, everybody? It's France. I'm here for a SmackDown review for last night's episode for April the 30th, 2021. The fourth month of the year is out the door. And could Daniel Bryan win the Universal Championship, or would he be banished from SmackDown? Short answer, of course. What else are you going to expect? Daniel Bryan was leaving. Everyone knew Daniel Bryan was done after this episode of SmackDown. We don't know if he's... Which, the stipulation was that he would be removed from SmackDown, but that doesn't mean that he's not going to be, going to Raw. There's a lot of speculation that his contract is coming up soon, and he's going to be wanting to... Daniel Bryan wants to do something that I know is not going to happen, is he wants to get... He wants to be able to wrestle in WWE, but also wrestle elsewhere. Good luck for that. Just... good luck with that. So, we had that tonight. It was majority of the second half of the show. We also had we had a WrestleMania rematch with the Intercontinental Championship on the line as Big E challenges Apollo Crews with Commander Aziz at ringside. So, we had that. So, we start the show off with Bianca Belair. She comes down, she's all happy, she's all jovial. We have the fake EST chants going on, and I can't wait. I can't wait till they're on tour again so they can stop with the fake crowd sweetening. I can't wait for Pat McAfee to stop, and this is something that needs to be done. He needs to stop pretending like the crowd noise is actually there. He's been doing it, if I had to compare Annenberg to Pat McAfee, it's night and day. Pat McAfee, of course, by a mile, by a country mile, or 1,000 miles, or whatever. But dude needs to stop acting like the crowd noise is there and it's real. It just hurts. It just is cringe every time. He's like, oh, how dare the crowd how dare the crowd disagree, or oh, the crowd's loving it. No, stop it. When we actually have an actual crowd, you can act like that, but don't do it while we don't have a real crowd. But she comes out, maybe gets one or two words in. Sounds like she's about ready to introduce her husband, and Angelo Dawkins, but out come the Dirty Dogs. They make maybe two words in, out comes the Street Profits. They maybe get two words in, and out comes Bayley, who gets into the ring, grabs the mic from Bianca Belair, starts laughing for whatever fucking reason, only to get smacked in the face. They brawl for a bit. The Profits and the Champs come in. They both brawl. And we go to commercial break. What a waste of a fucking opening segment, in my opinion. What in the hell was that? I think that was one of the shittiest ways to open Monday Night, to SmackDown. I'm sorry, Monday Night SmackDown. Because this felt like something you would see on Raw. Not on SmackDown like we've seen over the last few weeks. But no, this felt like a segment booked from Raw. I see Bruce and Vince McMahon brought their script from Monday Night Raw over to SmackDown to start this week's show. So we had the 6-person tag match, Bianca Belair and the Street Profits versus Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, and Bayley. And this was, I would say, a really good match. It was fun. Six people out there who are good at what they do. And we had a KOD on Bayley. Dawkins and Roode are going at it again. Roode rolls Dawkins up in a handful of tights, but Belair slaps him in the back with her hair, which I am so glad that they started bringing that back after WrestleMania. I mean, I guess they wanted to hold it out for a year, not have her use her hair at all. We get to WrestleMania, she uses it. She used it here, which I've always wondered, how is that not a disqualification? It's a foreign weapon. It can hurt. Did you see the scar, the mark she left on Sasha Banks? Yeah, but it is priceless. Dawkins with the anointment on Roode in the middle of the ring. Ford, I love this. He hits the splash, is able to catapult himself and land on his butt. Like, he landed sitting up. Like, that is fucking fantastic. That's how athletic Montez Ford is. He's able to hit the frog splash, catapult himself, and land on his butt. Landing sitting up. That was fucking cool. 1, 2, 3. Bianca Belair and the Street Profits win. Kayla Braxton is backstage. Woman needs to learn to not overdo it with the fake tanning, because holy shit did she look dark as hell. Well, Daniel Bryan asking about tonight's main event. He's at peace with the stipulation, is excited, but maybe we should be asking Roman Reigns how he feels. He's confident that is what happens. This is what he wanted. Reigns one-on-one, and he's confident he won't make Reigns tap out again. He's done it before. Says when he does win the Universal title, the first title offense won't be Roman. Nah. You have to. Roman makes everyone earn their shots. So my first title offense would be against somebody who deserves it and has been waiting his entire career, Cesaro. And I'm sitting there thinking, you gotta be kidding me. Why would you even tease Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro? Because everyone knows that Cesaro was not, Daniel Bryan was not winning tonight, or last night. Just wasn't doing it. It just wasn't going to happen. So, yeah, that kind of annoys the hell out of me, that you're going to sit there and go, well, we're going to just do this. And I'm like, you bastards, you fucking bastards. Just don't tease like that. Please don't tease like that. So, yeah. But, yeah, that's what they did. They decided to tease. Seth Rollins is back now. He laughs at Daniel Bryan, saying he'll give the first title shot to Cesaro. Rollins goes on and predicts that Bryan will win the night, but says Cesaro won't get a title shot because he's not going to make it past next week. Plus, Pat says Rollins and Cesaro looks on for next week. Which, speaking of next week, in this segment between the beginning of the show and this Seth Rollins promo, they gave us a commercial that next week's show is going to be known as Way Back SmackDown. They use the old SmackDown, the first SmackDown logo, and I have a problem with this. Just the way, first off, it sounds like desperation. I don't know why. SmackDown's the one having better ratings than Raw. It's been in the 2 millions, whilst Raw has been struggling to stay in the 2 millions, and only was in the 2 millions for what? Legends Night and the night after WrestleMania, and that was it. It dropped immediately. Yeah. SmackDown's been doing great. What is next week? What is going on next Friday that they are so desperate to have a Way Back SmackDown? I need to know. I really don't. I don't understand what else they could be going with for Way Back SmackDown. So, yeah. Like, they were showing flashes of Monday Night Raw and all these other things, and I'm like, why? Why are you showing flashes of SmackDown? And you have Vince McMahon talking on commentary, which I don't think Vince McMahon ever had a run on SmackDown as commentator. So, again, I don't know why we are getting SmackDown. Way Back SmackDown, that seems like it's going to be a mix of throwback, like the classic Monday Night Raws and SmackDown logo. Which, if you're going to do a Way Back SmackDown, but yet you're not going to have the entranceway, the entranceway better be the classic SmackDown entrance. I don't give a shit what you have to do, what you have to move. If you're going to do this Way Back SmackDown, and we're going to show up on Friday next week with all the LED screens everywhere, then it's just another regular episode of SmackDown with a different name. That's it. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to be a part of Way Back SmackDown, but it's probably not going to be anything special. Back from break, we see a quick wireless sponsored video of the recent happens with Tamina Snuka, Natalya, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and Reginald Megan Morant, who is honestly didn't even last a week before she sounds so robotic. Approaches the SmackDown Tag Team Champions with Reginald backstage. They brush her off and look ahead to going out there and proving why they're the champs and what they're made of to Natalya and Snuka. Jax rants about they're tired of the disrespect they've been getting on Raw and SmackDown as of late. Natalya and Tamina suddenly attack out of nowhere and leave the champs laying. And yes, we had to suffer through Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Tamina and Natalya. Where are the Riot Squad? Where are they at? We saw them during the Battle Royal, that thing that they did for WrestleMania. They were part of that, and that's all they've been. It's like they fell off the face of the earth again. Why aren't they getting time? Why aren't they getting the spots? I don't even understand why we have to see and we have to suffer through Natalya and Tamina. This shit was awful. And then, on top of that, here's my question. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax lose constantly as tag team champions. Why is it Shayna Baszler always getting the pinfall? Why is she always taking the pin? Why can't it be Shayna walking? I hope Shayna walks away the next time they have a tag team match and you have Nia Jax lose and lose and lose. And then eventually she takes the pinfall because you're wasting Shayna Baszler's talents on this shitty-ass tag team that should have lost the tag team championships to whoever the fuck at WrestleMania, broke them two up, sending Shayna Baszler on her way to a singles run for a singles feud with the women's champion in any way, shape, or form. But no. We have to make sure Charlotte gets the women's championship feud, and not Shayna Baszler. Because, again, Charlotte is a selfish piece of shit. We had also something running through the night. We had predictions from superstars and Hall of Famers. Booker T predicted that Roman was going to win. Back from break, we see a promo for next week's Way Back SmackDown. It wasn't called Throwback SmackDown. It was called Way Back SmackDown. Which again, if they don't have the SmackDown entrance from 1999 to 2002, they're wasting our time. Kayla Braxton is backstage with Rey Mysterio and Dominic. She's asked about the possible SmackDown tag team title shot. Dominic was so fucking terrible in this segment. I don't know who wrote these lines, but he's like, when I was growing up, my dad was like a superhero. He's like, this feels like it's in a comic book. What the hell kind of shot was that? Come on. Of course, he does mention that his dad is a 3-time World Heavyweight Champion, a 4-time Tag Team Champion. Mysterio pretty much says, all those titles are great. Everything of those are great. But this is special. We could be the first ever in WWE history father and son tag team champions. That would be legendary. So yeah. I don't know what the fuck who wrote those lines for Dominic, but Rey Mysterio was better, of course, because it's Rey Mysterio. And yeah, that would be something. Dominic's first championship in professional wrestling championship. First ever father-son, in which honestly I'm really surprised wasn't Shane and Vince McMahon. With everything going in the Attitude Era, I'm really surprised Shane and Vince did not win the World Tag Team titles. I find that very, very interesting, very funny that didn't happen. It's just so weird that didn't happen. So yeah. I expect them to probably win the tag team titles between now and SummerSlam. Which honestly, if we're gonna do this right, you gotta hold it off till SummerSlam. Get these two, the championships, going into like the title shot going into SummerSlam. They win at SummerSlam because the talk is that we're going to see crowds at We're going to see a crowd at SummerSlam, and if AEW, I guarantee you, the day that AEW comes out with their touring schedule when they go back on tour, WWE will have a touring schedule and say, we're going to start going this day. And it conveniently happens a day or two before AEW because Vince McMahon wants his show to be started going before AEW. He wants to make sure he's the first professional wrestling brand going on tour in the mainstream. That's what he's going to do, and Vince McMahon wants to do that. He wanted to be the first place to have a full capacity crowd. That didn't happen because the UFC just did that. So, yeah, Vince McMahon, he's kicking and screaming. He wants to have things go his way, and it hasn't been going his way. Even though you had crowds at WrestleMania, and instead of having crowds come back, you just decided, well, no, we're going to go straight back into the shitty-ass Thunderdome, which, we're all getting tired of. Cole sends us to another vignette of the upcoming return of Aleister Black. He's continuing with the Tales of the Dark Father book from last week, and Reality is the name of the second chapter. Black says people look at him and judge him, making assumptions. This is true nature of now, and he's always lived in this reality. In high school, people like you littered the halls, so unaware, lost in the concept of success and adoration that you'd been fed, I'm sorry. The prom date, the night college, house with picket fence, imagine thinking any of this is real. You built a foundation of lies. He goes on about how his father never taught him about any of that. Others were caught up with never fed him with lies. Father taught him the truth. Black believes people like the fans have been fed ideas of success that are just lies. There is something horribly wrong with society and with you. Black says he could help society and give them the keys to escape, but he won't do that. Honestly, yes, he is absolutely right. There is a lot wrong with society. Like all the stuff that you see going on around the United States right now with all the riots and stuff that's been going on. Yeah, there's people, every single one of those people out there rioting right now or causing havoc have been lied to, used, and manipulated. And yeah, I would love to see people like be woken up, but it's so hard to wake people up because they're just so stupid. But yeah, I'm really interested to see where this goes, what the purpose of it is, when he's going to be back. I'm sure it'll be at a pay-per-view. That's how they usually do this. I'm just hoping it doesn't go on for like 3 months where he's just walking around in the back in the dark or sitting in a chair in the back in the dark, reading from his book and not having a match. It's fine if they do it for a few weeks. It is fine. That's how you build hype for return or hype for a debut. Give us a few weeks. You don't just throw somebody out there cold turkey that almost nobody remembers or nobody knows just because you fucking feel like it. But yeah, I'm wondering where this goes, and we only have to wait. Okay, so we get this progressive sponsored video package on E versus Apollo Crews. Megan Moran is backstage with Big E, asking how he's changed his strategy since losing the title to Apollo at WrestleMania. Big E says everyone is asking, he's been all over the world, around the world and everything. What will he do different in his rematch? He and Apollo has been around and around, but tonight, all that comes to an end because Big E gets his baby back, goes on and assures everyone that tonight he'll become a 3-time IC champion, and you got to feel that. Let's go. Now, I already know that this is going to go to Backlash, obviously. Now, I hope Apollo Crews really loves this Intercontinental title run, because I know, and you know, the minute he loses that championship and he loses the rematch, he's going back to catering, because that's just his fate. This was a good match. These guys, have really good chemistry here. I did like this match, I think, a little bit better than the Nigerian drum fight, just because the Nigerian drum fight just felt like they didn't do anything different there than you would see in a normal no disqualification match. Of course, Big E hits the big ending, but Aziz breaks up the pin by pulling Big E to the floor for the disqualification. Aziz enters the ring to check on Crews, but here comes Kevin Owens. Owens unloads on Aziz until Crews makes a save and drops Owens. Aziz goes to deliver the Nigerian nail on Owens, but Big E makes the save. Crews gets knocked out of the ring. Owens and E double team Aziz. Aziz drops E with the headbutt and then goes to work on Owens in the corner. Sami Zayn appears out of nowhere with a big haluva kick to Owens in the corner. Aziz goes back to work on Big E as Crews stumbles back into the ring. Aziz kicks Big E out of the ring as Crews barks orders. Sami has Apollo's title belt now. He slowly turns around with it as Aziz and Crews stare him down. Tells them to take it easy, no problem here. He raises Crews' arm in victory as we get the fake boos. Sami keeps assuring Aziz and Crews that there are no problems. Aziz suddenly drops Sami with the Nigerian nail in the middle of the ring. Crews' music starts up, and he and Aziz stand tall over Sami. So you have Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Big E, Apollo Crews. That is going to be your match at Backlash. I mean, I don't know. Apollo Crews, Kevin Owens pretty much did lose fair and square last week. Yes, Aziz might have distracted him, but he didn't touch him. He didn't hit him. He just, yeah. So, yeah, this is just how it's going to go. We're going to have a fatal 4-way, which is fine. Unless if you borrow Aziz from ringside, then it'll be interesting. But I'm pretty sure Aziz will not be borrowed from ringside. And honestly, I'm too tired of seeing fatal 4-ways in WWE. Something AEW needs to start doing is fatal 4-ways and stuff. Get their talent on team that way. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, that should be a match at WrestleMania Backlash. We see a video selfie of The Miz, also a big Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods also put in their predictions. Kofi went with Roman. Woods went with Daniel Bryan. Roman, he predicts Roman to win. Of course, Miz does, saying no one in the entire SmackDown roster can beat Reigns, and definitely Bryan can't. Cole and McAfee hype up tonight's main event. Kayla's backstage with outside of Reigns' door, calling for Paul Heyman. Heyman slips out and doesn't look thrilled to be interviewed. Does he ever look thrilled to be interviewed? Back from break, and Cesaro accepts Seth Rollins' challenge for next week. He then predicts Daniel Bryan to win tonight's main event. Cesaro then predicts he will win the Universal title from Bryan at WrestleMania Backlash. We get a look at Roman Reigns backstage, and he seems to be deep thought ahead of the WrestleMania main event. The announcers show us a video package of the recent post-WrestleMania 37 happenings that led us to tonight's big match. Kayla is backstage with Paul Heyman. She asks about Daniel Bryan, but Heyman is so tired of hearing about him. Heyman goes on and acknowledges some of Bryan's successes and accomplishments, and they go on about how everyone thinks Bryan will win tonight and take Roman Reigns down. Everything is yes, 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 until Heyman asks if it will actually happen, but Bryan will not do this. He will not do that. He will not be seen on SmackDown again. No, no, no. SmackDown career versus title match, Daniel Bryan versus Universal Champion Roman Reigns. And Roman has new music. Finally. Is it the best damn music I've ever heard? Fuck no. It is better than being... The one thing that's positive about it is that you don't remind him of the Shield anymore. He doesn't look like... He doesn't have the flak jacket anymore. He doesn't have the music. He doesn't have the entrance. He doesn't have any of that. So now he actually feels legit like a main eventer. They finally dropped everything about the Shield that made him feel like he was just ripping off the Shield. So good on them. Good on them. But this match, I think, went way too long. They started this at like 9:36. They were making their entrances. So this was a long-ass, tiresome match. But in the end, it was it. Bryan gets put in the guillotine. He fades away. Roman wins the match. After the match, Cole confirms that Bryan is now banned from SmackDown. Bryan is flat on his back, but while Reigns gets up to his feet, as his new music hits, Heyman enters the ring and hands the Universal title to Reigns. He raises it up in the air as the fake boos come up. We go to the replays. Reigns brings 2 steel chairs into the ring, but Cesaro runs in to make the save. Cesaro takes off his suit jacket and delivers a running uppercut against the barrier. Cesaro keeps working Reigns over at ringside. And he just... Yeah. Things just did not go the way he wanted to. As Jey Uso would come out to stop Cesaro. Kicked him right in the face. And then just puts him in the ring. Gets on the apron. Gets in the ring. Ties Cesaro into the ring ropes. Just holds him there while he makes him watch the concerto. You know this is going to end up with Cesaro versus Roman Reigns. That's your next match at Backlash. Is it a damn shame that that Daniel Bryan had to lose? Yeah, I would have loved to see him win the Universal Championship, and then we get Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro. Don't have him tease that match, you bastards. I want to see that match. I guarantee you everybody wanted to see Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro, and then you put it in everyone's mind, knowing full well that it wasn't going to happen. That's the thing that pisses me off the most about it, is like, you knew full well that this match is not going to happen, and the only way that match would ever happen with a title versus match is if the next draft Cesaro comes to Raw. Now, yeah, Daniel Bryan is banished from SmackDown. That means he can go to Monday Night Raw. That means he can go to NXT. Anybody thinking, oh, this is it for Daniel Bryan? It's not yet. His contract's not up till apparently the fall. But yeah, Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro could happen if Cesaro was to come to Raw. Or wherever Daniel Bryan goes. Now, my question is, when we have the draft next year, when we have the draft, are they going to forget about that? That's my question. Are they going to do what I think they're going to do? Are they going to pretend like Daniel Bryan didn't get added to, like, it's just going to be one of those things that it's going to be really weird. What are they going to do for Daniel Bryan versus, like, I can see it now, like, 6 months, like, when we go to the draft in October, which is, 5 months from now? Yeah, 5 months from now, or something like that. 6 months, whatever. They're going to be like, Daniel Bryan drafted to SmackDown, and be like, you do realize you had Daniel Bryan lose, and that's just going to be typical. That would be typical WWE. Daniel Bryan going to SmackDown after going on Monday Night Raw. And yes, he's going to Monday Night Raw, and why is he going to Monday Night Raw? Because Monday Night Raw is desperate. Did you not see the ratings for Monday Night Raw? It was like a 1.5, I think it was. Like Raw ratings are in the toilet. And WWE needs something. Bobby's not doing it. Before him, Drew wasn't doing it. Nobody on WWE television right now are doing on Monday Night Raw or giving Raw good ratings. Just not happening. So there's a problem. They need something. Raw needs a shot in the arm, and Daniel Bryan looks to be that guy. They're going to try and do that. So WrestleMania Backlash will be interesting to see what they do. How are they going to do Monday Night Raw? How are they going to do the title match for Drew versus... Which, honestly, if you're going to get Daniel Bryan... If Daniel Bryan comes over and you're going to give Daniel Bryan the Universal Championship, the WWE Championship, it's not going to be at the next pay-per-view. I think they'll build it up because, honestly, it would just look shitty that you have... Which they don't have anybody. If Bobby Lashley gets to Drew McIntyre, who do they have? What babyface do they have on Monday Night Raw besides Drew, who's ready for a World Championship? Keith Lee? No. Where the hell's he been? Ricochet? No. Trying to figure this out. I don't think of any other... There's no other babyfaces, really. There is literally no other babyfaces built, ready for a main event world title run in WWE at this time. And that's a shame. That is an absolute shame. That's how we have this thing going on right now. Is that nobody else is ready for WWE to give us I don't know what else to say about it. It's like, you just look at it and it's like, if Bobby Lashley, which, man, I guess you can say Braun Strowman, but who the fuck wants to see Braun Strowman as a world title holder? He held that Universal Championship for, 4 months last year, and didn't do shit with it. He defended it against nobodies, and the terrible swamp fight he had during his run, lost it to The Fiend, who also held it for a week before Roman came back and took the title and has held it ever since. So, there's a lot to think about when it comes to Daniel Bryan. Obviously, like, of babyfaces going up against a heel champion, who's been built up more? Drew McIntyre, or anybody else, or Cesaro? And the answer is, of course, Cesaro, who's been just somebody that, the fans have been wanting for years, which I still remember at WrestleMania how Jerry the King Lawler just insulted the entire fan base, like, oh, the fans are just now getting behind Cesaro. No, motherfucker. The fans have been behind Cesaro for a better part of a decade in WWE, and you jackasses are just now noticing it. So, yep, Daniel Bryan done from SmackDown. Obviously, at WrestleMania Backlash, if it's not been made yet, let me look at the card. If it hasn't been made official yet, then it's going to be made official probably next week. No. We're still, by the way, when is Backlash, WrestleMania Backlash? The 16th. The 16th. That is in 2 weeks from Sunday. And we have 2 matches. 2 weeks from Sunday. You had 5 weeks to build up this pay-per-view. And we are 3 weeks in. And you only have 2 matches still? 2 matches. What the fuck? You could have literally had that beatdown on Sami Zayn. You could have had that entire thing going down. And we go to commercial break, we come back and be like, oh, breaking news at WrestleMania Backlash, a fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental Championship. That's what you could have did. But you didn't do it. Why? Because you gotta make people wait a week. Holy shit, this company is so fucking stupid. But that is your SmackDown review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds at the France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. And find me on Instagram at The France Club. And I will see you guys on Monday for Raw. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.